Hello guys, welcome back to F2G, where today I have another episode of the Let's Talk series. A series where I sit and talk about a game that I care about, or a game that we care about. I have previously stated that I've put this specific title to rest, but with a big update incoming, I can't help but be a little bit excited about this. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about Activision, but mostly about Call of Duty Warzone. I'm going to be talking about the new map, Caldera, and some of the information that comes with that, and actually a personal story about how I got into Warzone in the first place, why I like it, and why I believe this new update has the potential to recapture the love for the game that everybody had last year in March. For those of you who are impatient and you just want to get to the Caldera bit and you're greedy, you want to get to the meat and potatoes, I'm going to put in the description some timestamps and you can fish through those at your leisure. But for the rest of us who like this kind of thing, you like that, yeah? Did you? Okay. But anyway, yeah, we're going to take a little deep dive here. I hope you enjoy. All right, let's go. Alright, so Warzone got released on the 10th of March in 2020, and it couldn't have been probably a better time for a Battle Royale from Call of Duty to release, really. The pandemic had just set in, and everyone was sort of uncertain about what was going on, and of course the lockdowns, which was the perfect time to release a game like Call of Duty Warzone. And like a lot of people here in the UK, as soon as Call of Duty dropped, that was pretty much everyone's lockdown game, right? I mean, am I wrong? And immediately it kind of stuck to me because I wasn't really playing a big multiplayer game at the time, so it was the perfect chance and the perfect entry point to get back into sort of the Call of Duty franchise. I hadn't played a Call of Duty game before this since the original Modern Warfare on the Xbox 360. I know, like super granddad old. But Warzone immediately felt familiar to me. But I had never played a Battle Royale. I hadn't really stuck to a Battle Royale before in the past. I tried your Fortnites and I tried a little bit of Apex. I think I downloaded Apex when it first released. I just didn't understand the concept. You know, I didn't know why everyone was going mad about it. But Warzone was my entry point. I know a lot of the hardcore BR fans are going to call me a scrub for that, but you know, this is just my personal story with getting into Warzone. You know, I loved a lot of the features that Warzone had. You know, it had the contracts that you could pick up in the game and get bounties on people, do supply, you know, all these different things that I thought, wow, this is really genius. The customizable loadouts you can call in. And with those loadouts, you know, you can spend hours before all of the meta streamers telling you which guns to use. You know, everyone was figuring this shit out for themselves. And that I thought it was all just like it was a really cool time, and what a journey to go on a video game while everyone's stuck inside, you know. Perfect timing. Fucking Activision. But before Call of Duty, the main online game I was playing was Gears of War on the Xbox, which for anyone who's played that is a third-person shooter, and it is pretty competitive. But you know, my FPS gaming days were like Quake and Unreal Tournament, you know, these old school, at this point they're dinosauric, and I never really played them online. I don't think I ever played them online. I just sort of played my friends, so I never really had any sort of competitive experience, you know. And before Gears of War, I was living in Australia and New Zealand and really wasn't gaming there. And I think a couple of the houses I lived in, we had like a dusty old Xbox 360 or something, and we were playing some racing games, but nothing shooter wise, nothing competitive. So where is this going? When I jumped into Warzone, I had this journey to get good, as everyone says, and the game made me want to get better at it. Something about it, the mechanics, everything, it was enjoyable to play. The guns felt good, the feedback of the guns felt good. The sort of like the scope of how far these loadouts and things like that could go really dragged me in, and I got hooked along with obviously millions of other people. So imagine, right, there's me in 2020 learning what drop shots and jump shots were. I know, what an absolute noob I was. And then came to remapping my controller to make it easier to jump and slide and crouch and go prone without having to take my thumbs off the sticks, you know, tactical bumper jumper, whatever it was called. You know, so after this initial teething period and me sort of learning how to play Call of Duty, I think even when I played Modern Warfare back in the day, I was probably trash. Like, in fact, I definitely was trash because I didn't know any of this stuff. I mean, I think the drop shots came in World at War. That's what I read online. But even so, like these techniques and things, I was just running and gunning. You know, I was a pretty scrubby player. But this is sadly where the story gets a little bit sour. And by the sounds of it, by the sounds of the internet, I'm not alone in this feeling either. The game went from being probably one of the best online shooters I've ever played to one of the most annoying and frustrating ones. To start with, after the initial learning period, which I touched on earlier, I learned about SBMM, or skill-based matchmaking, and what it meant for the future of getting better at the game. I had like a 0.46 KD in Warzone. I know, that's fucking terrible. But I would still just enjoy dropping into Verdansk, and just getting shit on by pretty much every single other player who knew how to play a Call of Duty game with me. But I was still having fun, dropping in with the boys. It was so, everything was so new to me that I didn't even mind dying, Because every time I die, I'm one of those kind of gamers that when I die in a game, I always try and think like, oh, why did that happen? Not just like, I see a lot of people playing games and they get killed and they're like, oh, this game fucking sucks. Like, I'm sick of it. I'm like, as if they're going to be amazing the second they touch it. I knew there was going to be this big skill gap where I hadn't been playing Call of Duty games all this time. But I'm saying this happened for months. The reason why I had that 0.46 KD for so long is because I must have played 100 or 200 games without getting a kill. I was that bad. But as I learned some more tricks and I got better with my aim and learning about controller sensitivities and things like that, I clawed my KD up to over a 1.2. Which, yes, to the pros and the COD addicts is still dog shit or whatever. And, but statistically, it is above average. And that was enough for me to feel some kind of satisfaction, with my progress. But the SBMM means that no matter how good you get or how good you're going to get, they're always going to match you with players of similar or higher skill than you to keep the game competitive, right? So every match was a matter of, in a gunfight, I miss 2 bullets while I'm shooting someone and I'm dead. If I don't jump around like a maniac while I'm fighting, I'm dead. Now, I'm all for competitive nature and competitive gaming, but there was something about how addictive Warzone can be, along with how disheartening and frustrating it can be to spend all that time queuing up into a game, which does take a while, guys. And the pre-game lobby is sometimes longer than the minute that it's horrible. It's just too much time between games. Only for you to loot for like 10 minutes, and then die to the first team of sweaties slide cancelling around the corners and lasering you with pinpoint accuracy, never missing a bullet, seemingly. Not to mention some of the cheesy mechanics in the game, like stun grenades lasting 2 business days, melee killing faster than bullets at times, and gas mask animations pulling me out of ADS and getting me murdered, trying to mantle windows or rocks and it just not happening or not being responsive at all. It's just a lot of teeth-biting frustration that was really specific to this game. And I'm not usually an angry gamer, but something about Warzone really taps into, it pushes my buttons. And not just mine. There are rage compilations on YouTube for a reason, right? But then, I did some digging and some research online, and I thought, there's got to be something missing. Have I missed out some techniques or something that I need to pick up? Because I've learned my drop shots, my jump shots. I've learned, my controller sensitivities. I've learned to move, strafe shot in gunfights and all this. I had to learn all this for this game. And it's always better to look inwards rather than blame outwards first. That should be a first option. Is there something I can change to make me better before I start blaming the game or, other players, right? But then the penny sort of dropped, man. The cheating situation in Warzone had become like extremely apparent, and now I heard a few people calling out hacker and stuff in the early days, but I thought to myself, I've never seen a hacker. I don't think I've come across one. I think you guys are just tripping. And because I was so shit at the game, I didn't even notice when it was happening, because it didn't matter if someone had an aim bot or an aim not. I'm still losing that gunfight because I sucked. But after learning that Activision had only implemented a server-side anti-cheat, which, let's face it, was catching nobody. The cheaters would even have sometimes quite a high rank, which means they were able to cheat for months without being caught. And what do they care if they were caught? They've got hundreds of burner accounts that they can just go through. So it really is no skin off their sack, right? It's even spawned a bunch of YouTube channels which have grown huge audiences from trying to catch hackers or raise awareness about the hacking, as if we're not fully fucking aware that there's hackers in the game. And there's a whole conspiracy about top Warzone streamers becoming popular with this specific game from using, soft hacks or whatever to try and sort of blindside their fans and, become sort of YouTube famous with Warzone, and generally to make decent content regularly, you know, because the game is pretty sweaty. Now, I'm not even going to indulge on this topic because this channel isn't about conspiracy theories or using anyone's name for clout or to try and get clout or anything like that. This is just like my personal gaming channel, so I don't want any of that BS on here. Get to the fucking point, Neko! Alright, so the point of this video, and I know I've been rambling, but, you know, I like to ramble about video games. I love the core mechanics of Warzone, and the Modern Warfare engine in general, made by Infinity Ward, my favorite of the subsidiary companies from Activision. Sorry, Activision! But it satisfies almost everything I like about the first-person genre. I have a lot of heart for it, and it saved a lot of us through that, like, difficult and uncertain year of 2020, right? But as we should all be aware by now, Verdansk has more than outstayed its welcome. I mean, come on, we've dropped to Superstore, train station, hangars, etc. more than enough times by now. It's time for a change, and a big change at that. The new map is just about 5 or 6 days away at this point, Caldera, or Warzone Pacific, as they want to be calling it. And it looks and sounds like Warzone may just be capturing that lightning in a bottle that it did last year in March, which I'm so pleased to hear, because my love for the game waned very, very, very quickly. As soon as the hackers were in most of the lobbies I would go into, sometimes just having hours of frustrating gameplay. And at the time, I was trying to... At the time, I was setting up my Facebook gaming page and Twitch channel, and I was loving playing Warzone, so I wanted to stream it. Obviously, I probably didn't get that many viewers because there was just thousands of Warzone streamers, so why would anyone just stumble upon my channel, right? But I was finding it increasingly difficult to make any decent content with it, just from either cheaters ruining a really good game we were having, or just the game being unbelievably, uncontrollably sweaty, and the lobbies we were going in, it just felt like the odds were against us constantly. And to keep up a high level, you know, we'd have like maybe like 1 in 10 games, we'd have a really decent game, right? But people come into your stream and then they tune out, and they don't want to see you grinding, you know. They want to see that like high level gameplay, which is actually really, by the way, if you've tried it, you'll know, but it's really hard unless you're like a absolutely cracked out player. It's really hard to keep that level of intensity up for like 6 hours or however long you're going to stream for. So anyway, I'm going off topic here, but what are we getting? Where are we going with this, right? The new map, for starters, I mean, look at it. Just look at it. Just take a look at it. Yeah? It looks insanely vibrant. The criticism of the color palette from the 2019 Modern Warfare has clearly been heard loud and clear, because there are some breathtaking views and colors in this new map. The POIs look more interesting in general. The elevation seems to be a lot more varied than Verdansk, which should make some more varied gunfights and rotation opportunities as well. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how, you know, all this comes together in a few... It's not just a few days away. I can't fucking believe it. We will have to wait until the 8th or 9th, really, to see this with our own eyes. But it is showing a lot, I have to admit. And hey, look, I went from being a lover to kind of a hater, you know, and now I'm kind of... So the reason why I was thinking maybe I shouldn't make a video about Warzone is because I moved on to Blood Hunt and loved it. And sadly, that isn't with us at the moment. It's coming back next year. But this has grabbed my attention again. In the last few days, I've played a little bit more Warzone with my friends, and I'm starting to feel like I have seen some cheaters. Okay, they're still there. They're still fucking there. But other than that, I did feel like I was kind of enjoying it again. And I think it took to have a bit of a break away from it to really appreciate it and sort of say goodbye to Verdansk. I mean, we got a win last night, and I thought to myself, like, oh, it's nice to get that last final Verdansk win, you know, before we see it off. You know, like when you drop off your kid to school for the first time. Not that I have children or know what that feels like, but you know, to say goodbye to Verdansk like that, and then usher in this new era of Warzone, finally, you know, with some actual new content, like a new map. I think it's going to bring a shitload of new players to the game, for one, and all of those players who stopped playing months and months ago because the map was just getting tired and boring, they're going to come back as well. So the player pool is going to be fucking huge for this game. It's going to be huge. And with this new map comes a few mechanic changes. And this is like, look, there's 2 reasons why I'm excited for this new map, right? First reason, fucking new map, obviously. Second reason, they're actually changing some, and I didn't think they were going to do this. And I'm actually impressed by Activision, or Maybe not Activision, just the, Raven Software, because Activision are too busy sort of abusing their staff members. Burn. But Activision have released some info about what we can expect to change in the Warzone Pacific update, and I have to admit, it's tickling my pickling. So we got some changes to the Warzone. So I'm gonna be reading these off. So sorry that my eyes are not gonna be on you. Gulag changes. So the Gulag winner the Gulag winner respawns with the weapons and lethal weapon equipment granted during the Gulag duel. So, to my understanding, this means you go into the Gulag. It's going to be like the Iron Trials situation. You go in there, you win your fight, and you come back out with the exact weaponry that you had in the game. And that doesn't mean, like, let's say you go in there and you got a stun and a Semtex, right? And you go in there, you kill the guy with the Semtex, but you've saved your stun. Like when you drop back into Caldera, you'll have that DMR or whatever you had as your main weapon, and you will still be missing that Semtex and you'll be keeping that stun. So there'll be like an incentive to maybe like hold on to your lethal and tactical. Enemy dropping into the AO! When they hear that shit and they just all look up to the sky and beam the crap out of you, you'll actually have some tactical and lethal equipment on you. I think that's a cool change, personally. And I think that's going to make the coming back from the Gulag way less, I'm naked with a pistol, What do you reckon? And then we got loadout and field upgrade changes. Dead silence nerf. Dead silence. If I had a hat, I'd be taking it off right now. Okay? Dead silence nerf. I don't have any more details. Hopefully we'll hear some more about that soon. But oh my god, guys, how many times have we been sick and freaking tired of dead silence? Just get it out the game. But the fact that they're nerfing it, I don't know, because they tried to nerf it by making high alert, hear the footstep. But like, I don't want to have to run a freaking perk just so that dead silence isn't overpowered. That's not fair. It's a stupid thing. Like the footstep sounds are busted in the game as it is. The directional sound, that's another thing that hasn't been mentioned, but I really hope we do feel a change in that. For me, I don't know if it's just me. I'm pretty sure it's not just me, but the directional audio in this game is so bad. Like if people, let's say I'm in a stairwell, yeah, and I'm in the middle of a stairwell, so there's stairs above me and below me. I hear footsteps, right, and I'm like, I can't distinguish whether they're above or below. And I'm like, do I have my freaking headset on backwards? No, of course I don't. I hear it and I'm like, it's got to be coming from above. It's got to be coming from above. And I'm like, wobble peeking the stairs. And then, of course, they come up through the bottom and throw a stun up and wreck me, And stun grenades is next on this nerf list, which I'm happy about. So, yeah, I hope the peripheral sound, directional audio, please, Raven, fix it. Please. It was really, sound is like one of the biggest, tools of your arsenal. If I can identify where footsteps are coming from, that dictates everything you do. It's one of the 5 senses, man. Come on, sound. Next up is the stopping power rounds removal. Now, anyone who's played Warzone will fucking hate stopping power rounds in the game. They're terrible. They are awful. They shouldn't be in the game. It removes skill. It's like it just adds damage to your gun. Like it's stupid. But to see them removing that, just removal, they're not even going to go for the whole like, we're going to soft nerf it. No, get it out. Get it out. We don't want it. Get that shit out of the game. And they're doing that, which is amazing. And next is the stun grenades nerf. Now, I run stunts in the game because I feel like if they're going to keep something in that's stupidly overpowered, I mean, let's be honest. You can wipe an entire squad by using just a stun grenade. Or double, you stun, get the confirm, stun again, push out, and all you got to do is move out of their like direct line of sight, and they can't track you because they move like this. Not to mention this. It's awful. It's terrible. But as I say, I run them because, if they're going to keep something stupid overpowered in the game, I'm going to use it, Heartbeat sensor nerf. I'm not getting any more information on this report. Maybe I need to do some more digging online. But heartbeat sensor nerf, what do they mean by that? Like, how are they going to nerf it? And I'm glad they are. Because too many people run it, or the baby monitor, as people say. Too many people are running it. It's they've got all these different tacticals and lethals, and people are just using 2 or 3 of them, man. Hey, look, I still love fighting games, but I just don't have one at the moment that I really love. Dragon Ball Fighters maybe in the next one, but that's not part of this video. But my point is, in games like that, you'll see like a few different fighters being used as like top tier characters because they have either systems or moves and stuff that are so effective. You know, they're meta. So in this game, we've got meta guns and meta tactical and lethal equipment. But to see the heartbeat since they're getting a nerf is, you know, it warms my soul. You know, we can see some different things happening. Kali Stick and Psy nerf. I don't think I even need to mention the Kali Sticks because we all know they're shit. They're just trash. There's no reason for that. The melee in general, there's no reason for it to be that strong. So the Kali Sticks are getting a nerf. So happy about that. Gun butting, melee nerf. Melee's getting a nerf. You know when you must have seen it when someone's jumping off a roof, pulls their chute. I'm getting some, you know, I hear the shoot, I turn around, I get some shots down, but they manage to land into your gun while I'm fully automatic firing, and they punch you twice, somehow getting both hits on you and downs you when they've got a pistol. This is another reason why this game can be so damn frustrating, because sometimes the skill in the game is removed by some kind of BS mechanic in the game, and that should just did not happen. This is a big one. This next one's a big one, right? Loadout drop markers cannot be purchased anymore from buy stations after the loadout drop event occurs. So, holy moly, there's going to be no late game loadout drops. It's going to be after that first loadout. I guess they might push the first one, the loadout drop event. It might be a little bit later on, but even if it isn't, that's big. You know, loadouts are going to be way more tactical. Which means people are going to have to get good with the ground loot. There is a bit of a debate about like ground loot versus loadout guns. Not like which is better, because obviously loadout guns are better, but like the fact that like if you've got ground loot guns, you're never going to win against someone with loadout guns unless you kind of, you know, get the jump on them or something like that. But I think now there's going to be a bit more of a varied amount of squads who have their loadout late game. Which is, we'll have to see how that plays out, man. I bet lots of people will be angry about this, but I think it might actually improve the game. But, you know, what do you think, man? Let me know in the comments. What's your opinion on that? Lethal equipment, in its majority, will deal more damage. I don't know how I feel about that. Oh, dude, if they buff the C4, okay, I'm all down for the C4 being buffed because I miss it, and I still run the C4 even though it's like nerfed into the ground, but I still love it. Throwing a C4 up into a helicopter and blowing it up in midair, or a truck going by and you just chuck a C4 off a building, land it on. It's just so satisfying, man. I know they don't. Actually, also another place that they're good when you're pushing buildings. You know, those copy and paste buildings, like the promenade ones, the long ones, and you go up the stairs and there's that like ladder that goes up to the hatch, and the people are just camping the hatches. You can lob C4s really nicely up and blow them up in their faces. It's really good. Especially couple that with a stun grenade when they can't move, and then just double C4, downs everyone, kills it. Try it. If you haven't tried it, try it. It's beautiful. Snapshot grenade effective radius increased. I mean, yeah, cool. Snapshot grenades at the moment are pretty much unused to my knowledge. I mean, none of my guys use them. I don't really see them being played unless you pick them up off ground loot. So maybe they'll have a bit more use there. Stims now grant a small movement boost. That sounds actually pretty decent. I mean, stims before, again, pretty much only used by multiplayer players, because that's where they're most useful. Or if you pick them up off the floor and you just happen to use them. Or if you're stim glitching. Yeah? Are you a stim glitcher? Are you a stim glitcher? Get out of here. Not welcome here. Or hackers. You can fuck off too. Gas masks and canisters. Okay. Gas masks will stop less actions, making it easier to put on your masks on or reload. That's just bad English. Or reloading while escaping the circle collapse. I need to see this. Before I get excited about this, I need to see it. Because the gas mask animation at the moment is disgusting. It's infuriating. You know, you must have had it when you're trying to fight multiple opponents, and the gas, you know, you're at the edge of the zone, and the gas just like creeps over you, and you're ADSing, and then suddenly it goes, put some mask on, your gun's just shooting all over the place. It's so bad. It's awful. For a thing that's supposed to actually help you, to swallow a little bit of gas while you rotate, it really fucks with my chi. Next up, we've got a shallow water mechanic. Operators are now able to walk on shallow waters. Walking on water makes footprints harder to see, even to those players equipped with the tracker perk. Okay, that's kind of cool. Crouching in knee-high water grants the cold-blooded effect. That's so cool. That's actually using the terrain as a tactical advantage. Love that. Bring that shit in. I was really hoping we were going to get swimming in this map, but I guess they just, for whatever reason, they must have trial perioded it, because a lot of people were saying, like, why can't we swim in there? It would have been nice to send, like, boats and things like that, especially when Black Ops Cold War was out and they had what was it, jet skis and shit? Or am I just tripping? Or was that on Blackout? I never played Blackout, but it looked fun. Fire-based equipment creates smoke when it hits the water. Again, I'd have to see that played out. What, like a Molotov? Contracts and public events. So there's going to be like different. There's going to be new contracts as well. Supply drop contracts. Big game bounty contract. Now I've seen information about this new bounty contract where it targets the players or the team with the most kills. That could be a game changer, really. It depends how frequent they are. They'll probably be really rare, but top secret contracts, we don't know what that is. Restocks and resurgences. So I think these are maybe events like jailbreak and thing like that. So resurgence, maybe it will be like for the next minute you get infinite respawns. I don't know. That could be kind of cool though. Cash drop events, yeah, I mean that's also useful. And weapon crates. Not much information about that, but if they're just going to drop like really high tier weapons, that's another. These are all reasons for players to converge in an area and fight, which is great. Or you draw everyone out of their little campy spots to go for one of these drops and hopefully get more gunfights. And lastly, guys, I wanted to talk about Ricochet anti-cheat and what that really does mean for the longevity of Warzone's next season. Or next bunch of seasons. If Activision have got this right, this anti-cheat that they keep on boasting about, when that kernel level driver goes live, if they can squash out even 50% of the cheaters or make it just a little bit harder for the cheaters to actually continue cheating or making new accounts, I think Warzone could once again be right at the top of one of the best games around, experience-wise. So far, the Ricochet team haven't really stopped the cheaters in Vanguard. I've seen lots of videos, people posting on social media of people hacking in Vanguard. It's just sad, man. If anyone watches this and you hack, just stop it, dude. Stop paying money to some, stupid company making cheats for video games. It's sad. It really is sad. I don't know why it's even enjoyable in the first place or why people enjoy it. Just stop doing it. It's as simple as that. Just either get good at the game or just enjoy being shit. You don't have to cheat and make everybody's day worse. But, just some people are assholes, so take the good with the bad, don't you? So yeah, that's all the information that I've seen so far about the Caldera map. I'm trying not to, dig too hard. These things just keep coming up on my feed, man, and I'm like, I gotta take a look because I'm curious. But some of it, I kind of want to go in and be surprised. When it comes to the dogfighting as well, I know there's going to be planes in this new map, but it said that there's two different types of battle royale. There's like Vanguard Royale or Pacific Royale, something like that, and then battle royale. And I'm not sure if the planes are in both versions. But again, we'll have to wait and see. It's only a few days away now. This is a precursor video to me potentially making some more Call of Duty videos. But that's all. I just wanted to talk about that today and get that off my chest. Are you excited for the new Pacific map? Let me know, man. I'll be interested in the comments. If you want to see any of my previous Call of Duty, I've got when I was first learning how to edit, you can check out this video here. Yeah, you can see my gameplay and you can laugh or critique me all you want. I don't mind. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Caldera, and I hope you guys are too. But until next time, I will catch you in the next one. See you later.